It's the Unhappy Hour.
Yeah. Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello, everybody, and happy... Oh, I don't even know what day today is, but I'll tell you what happened. The Cleveland Cavaliers have tied up the Chicago Bulls 1 game to 1 game. And we are now back in business. I mean, hell, the Golden State Warriors lost a game. You're looking at a whole bunch of different things. Hey, let's see what happens with Rockets, Celtics, Clippers as we record this. It's damn near neck and neck right now. But things are getting interesting in the East. But thankfully, LeBron James came out and played very well. Although, you know, he got tired twice. He was like, dude, take me out. He was sucking wind, man. You know, there's one time he was just kind of got up gimpy. Iman Shumpert, you know, they were saying on TV it looked like he was mouthing, I heard something pop or I felt something pop. So we're trying to figure out exactly what was going on there, because they actually did bring him back in the game later, being down J.R. Smith and Kevin Love already. You obviously don't want to see any of that. Kyrie Irving did okay. Wow, Tristan Thompson. Jeez. What a beast. Just a beast. And we had some guys knocking down shots. I mean, Dellavedova hit a few. James Jones hit a few. You know, and it was all necessary. But I'll tell you what, we put the smack down on those Chicago Bulls today. Ran up what was that, 38 to, where were we at? It was a 38 to, oh, where the heck was I just looking at that? Where was that? I think it was 38 to 18, a 20-point lead in the first quarter. And we pretty much kept that the rest of the game. And that's a good thing. So, obviously, we're here to talk basketball. And, of course, you know what that means. If this is not your first time joining us here on the program, we're going to bring in NBA scout, former, I need to put the asterisk in there, former NBA scout, current NBA consultant, Zak Baris, to the program. He's a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. And we bring him in to talk all things Cavs, Browns, Indians, and Buckeyes. Normally, mostly try to stay focused on the Cavs. However, you know, sports fans know no bounds. Doesn't mean you can't pay attention to the football team, and of course, he does as well. So, real quick, homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. On Twitter, we're at American_media_. Do a search on Facebook for The New American Media, with spaces in between, and then like the page, and subscribe, youtube.com/The New American Media. Okay? Do all those things. Link up with us. We put good content over in there. Over on those platforms, over there, is what I intended to say.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Living the dream, Zach. How are you doing?
I'm at 14% battery on my phone, so it's gonna be tough.
Nah, well, let's get to what we can get to. Cavaliers.
I got like 5 minutes.
All right, Cavs go 106 to 91. You were there. What did you see? What'd you like?
Of course it was. I loved it. You know, it was a blowout from the start. They put the Bulls in their place, just like I told you was going to happen. There was no doubt they were going to win that game, and like I said, I wasn't wrong.
Oh,
they
so
switched up the lineup tonight. I was right. Delly played 36 minutes tonight. You know, I've been a big critic of Dellavedova all season, but, you know, he's good for what they need him for, and he dominated. You know, he's a great defender, put up some points tonight. James Jones played well. Shumpert played great. Kyrie played well, and LeBron was, you know, he was very active. So it's exactly what you wanted to see out of the Cavaliers tonight. Exactly what you got, and there's no reason why they can't win this series in 6 games. There's no reason.
Yeah, I still have it in 5. Of course, you know, that's a little optimistic.
I'm not changing my pick. I picked the Cavaliers in 5 to 6. I'm sticking with them. I totally predict them to win this series. Here's the thing. You can go out there and you can crush the Bulls like you did tonight. You know, you put the pressure on Gasol. Gasol doesn't take – he's not a physical player. He's a very finesse guy. When Gasol plays a physical game, he gets his ass kicked. Excuse my language, but he does, and that's the only way to put it. He got put in his place tonight. Every single player in the Bulls did, and I told you, like I said, Game 1, I was very encouraged by how crappy the Cavs played and how well the Bulls played, and the Bulls barely won that basketball game.
Right.
Think about that for a sec. And when you put that all together, take it in and all one, you know, listen, the Cavaliers did like crap in Game 1. The Bulls played their asses off, shot 65% from three-point land, and barely won that basketball game.
Barely.
The Bulls need to play perfect to beat this team because the Cavaliers still have the two best players on the floor, and it's not close.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, watching Tristan Thompson on the boards, it was tough to say he wasn't the second best player tonight. Of course, Iman and Kyrie.
Yeah.
But
Tristan
talk about
Rodman
Tristan.
was fantastic again.
When did he get this damn good at this?
He started about mid-season. He became an unbelievable offensive rebounder and started taking over. I mean, I started noticing it when he was having games with 10, 11 offensive rebounds, and coming out of nowhere, and you're sitting there going, holy balls, wow.
The thing is, if he doesn't put points in, what he does is he gives you another chance on a miss, and it's like, okay, well, his other guy just got points. I wonder if we could keep stats
He doesn't need
on.
to put points in, and that's the thing. As long as he's keeping possessions alive by getting offensive rebounds, it doesn't matter if he's scoring points or not. That's the biggest part about Tristan. I mean, he's keeping possessions alive. Let the guys who need to take the shots, Kyrie and LeBron, take the shots. Kick it out to James Jones for the three. Kick it out to Dellavedova, who played well tonight. I mean, it was team basketball tonight with letting the superstars take over, letting them do what they do, and let the role players have their role. And that's exactly what the Cavaliers did. Fantastic coaching job by David Blatt. I was very impressed by the Cavs tonight. It was an intense game. The crowd was on their feet the entire time. I don't know how it looked on TV, but the crowd was on their feet the entire time, and it was very loud in that arena all night.
I will say that it was definitely louder more often because, of course, we were winning and doing good. We were playing good basketball. We were not playing good basketball a couple of days ago, unfortunately.
They were beating the crap out of them from the start of the game. I mean, what was it, 13-2? I mean, they were up by 20 after the first quarter. So it was never really a game. I mean, Chicago was never in it. You saw the lead was it got to 11 points.
Yeah, they were cutting it down there. When Iman Shumpert went out, everything changed, and you could feel like, I wasn't necessarily worried, but definitely the tide, the momentum had shifted at that point.
Like I said, I never sweat 1 ounce of water going through there going, oh my God, the Cavaliers could be down 0-2 because I knew it wasn't going to happen. LeBron's never lost a game 2 of the Bulls. He knows how to play the Bulls. This is virtually the same team that he's beaten 3 separate times. I mean, whether it was when Derek was healthy 2 of the times, whether he wasn't, when they had Nate Robinson. And, but virtually it's the same team with Joakim Noah. Yeah, they added Pau Gasol, but they still had Gibson. Essentially Gasol replaced Boozer is what he did. And Gasol's a better player than Boozer, there's no doubt about that. But like I said, you out-muscle Gasol, he's worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, but something that wasn't fun in the third quarter, Iman Shumpert left with a strained left groin.
Yeah, but he came back in the game. It was fine. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest thing to take care of. And now don't forget for Game 3, you can go in there now with J.R. Smith coming back, who's an unbelievable defensive player, can shoot the 3 ball. You've got Kyrie, you've got J.R., you've got Shump, you've got LeBron, you've got Dellavedova, who's a meaningful rotation player against the Bulls at least. Not necessarily against other teams, but he's a meaningful rotation player against the Bulls because he gives those guys so much. He gives those guys, so much havoc on the defensive end. This is not a cakewalk series for the Bulls like I think they expected after Game 1. I fully expected the Cavaliers will come out and take at minimum 1 out of the next 2 games.
Do you think that there's something to that when a team gets their first road win in a series, they kind of lay down and just say, we got our split?
I think they're going to come out there, like I said, it's all about setting the tone early. That's what we've seen in both games. Chicago set the tone early in Game 1. Cavaliers fought back. Chicago finished out strong. Game 2, the Cavaliers set the tone early, and they set the tone for the whole game. That was the difference. The Cavaliers have so much firepower offensively. Chicago literally needs to be on their A-plus game in order to beat the Cavs, even without Kevin Love and without J.R. Smith. We saw that. I mean, a healthy Cavaliers team would beat Chicago probably, my guess, within 4 games. With Love and with Smith, they would have beaten them in 4 games. There's no doubt in my mind after watching tonight's game and after watching Game 1. I'm not going to sit here and play any card, and I'm not going to be a homer towards Cleveland, but a healthy Cavaliers team would beat the living snot out of the Bulls on any day.
Well, the Kevin Love injury definitely does change the spacing and things.
I mean, they beat the crap out of the Bulls tonight, 2 men down.
Yeah,
you lost
we
2
did.
starters, and you still beat the crap out of them.
And that's tough, losing 2 starters. That is a big deal.
I said, what did Derrick Rose do tonight? What was so impressive about Derrick Rose? It's a once in every 4 or 5 game performance for Derrick Rose. From Game 1. That's what he does now.
Yeah, you did say that.
I just don't think he's capable of putting us up in 7 straight games, which is Chicago's downfall.
Well, Derrick Rose, yeah. If it's every 5 games, maybe we won't even get to see another one.
Yeah, and Mike Dunleavy's not Larry freaking Bird.
Yeah, occasionally it seems like that, and it gets frustrating to watch. But yeah, I mean the Bulls really couldn't get much of anything going this game. But somebody that did was LeBron James. The headband comes back, and he plays differently. What did you make about his performance tonight?
About whose?
LeBron, the headband.
He was unstoppable. He wanted to take the ball to the hoop. He took the ball to the hoop. It just is what it is. He was unbelievable in the offensive end. The ISO play was dominant. He was passing the ball. He was kicking it out. I mean, he literally looked like it was don't mess with me. I'm not going to take it tonight. In game one, I'm going to let this stuff happen. I want to see how the tone's set for the rest of the series. And I'm going to take it from there. And tonight he said, I'm not losing this game in my home court. I don't lose in my home court. Normally I don't lose in series. I don't lose to Chicago.
Yeah, 2 times though he kind of called to get taken out. He looked winded. I'm just.
He was tired. I mean, he was playing. I mean, like I said, I did not see this from LeBron in the regular season. LeBron playing his ass off, where he could play 40 minutes a night and put up 35, 40 points with ease. You didn't see that from LeBron. You didn't have to do it.
So maybe this was
real time all season where you said, okay, he's going to sit there and he's going to take it to the hole. And you can score him, he's going to score. Or he can kick out for an open three. He's going to kick it out. He's not going to make stupid turnovers like he has been all season, trying to find these guys just to find the open man and get people points. He's going to take it himself. All he wants to do is win, and he showed that. It's one of the first few times all season I've seen it, and he did it.
He really has kind of almost taken this whole season off. He definitely did for a couple weeks there.
This is Miami LeBron we're seeing in the playoffs. In the last couple of years, we're saying, okay, this is the LeBron James show. And you saw in Miami last year, it wasn't Dwayne Wade's team. It was LeBron's team. And you saw that.
Yeah.
Year one, though, you assumed it was Dwayne Wade's team. Year two, when they won, the reason they won championships in year 2 and 3 were clearly because of LBJ.
Yeah.
Not because of Dwayne Wade. Wade played well, clearly because of LeBron. And don't forget, I have all the confidence in the world. Don't forget, the Cavaliers still have, despite Curry being the MVP, LeBron is still the best player in the NBA.
I definitely argued that. I don't think we make the Kevin Love trade. I don't think a lot of things happen if LeBron James doesn't come back to the Cavaliers last season, and look where they're at now. I mean, that's clearly, to me, the most valuable player. I think the Warriors still would have been good.
If you're any player in this league, and this is the reason why I don't think Kevin Love's going to leave next season, if you're any player in this league and you're saying, wow, look what they can do minus myself, holy wow. Wow.
Yeah, just imagine if I were in there.
Imagine what they could do with me. If I'm Kevin Love, if I'm LaMarcus Aldridge, if I'm one of these players and I go, imagine what they can do with me. I've got myself a ring if I play on this team.
Yeah, didn't they bring out members of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and Kevin Love came down to the sidelines for the first time since his injury, right?
Yeah, I saw Cardale Jones, actually. I was right by him. It was pretty cool.
Cardale. That dude's funny. His May Fool's post. We talked about that on the last show. Okay, so you're still predicting Cavs in 6. I'm still saying Cavs in 5. We'll see how it goes. This was definitely more of the type of team I want to see. We get J.R. Smith back, but we'll keep an eye on Iman Shumpert and how well he's doing. Any thoughts on the Warriors going down?
Like I said, Mike Conley coming back played a big part in that win.
What did you think about him getting hit in the face?
It was tough, but he's a hell of a player, and he's very resilient. So, like I said, the Grizzlies could not win without Conley, and with Conley, he has that firepower to stop Curry. They've got a chance in the series. I still think Golden State walks away with a win, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, Houston, it looks like they're up. They are up 98-91 with 7.5 left in the fourth.
I know. I'm trying to watch the game. I'm on my rooftop right now after the game. So.
Are you creeping in somebody's window like, hey, ladies, I'm watching sports?
Yeah. So, Brian, actually, my phone's about to die.
All right, buddy.
So I got to get rolling now.
Cool. Zach, thank you for your time. We'll bring you back in next time. You have a great evening. We appreciate it, as always. There he goes, everybody, Zak Baris. Okay, yes, so now his cellular phone is saved so that he can make that late-night call for Domino's Pizza. You know, I really need to get some sponsors. Who's the sales guy around here? Oh, that's probably me. All right, I should probably refocus and get to the sales. No, Domino's is not a sponsor yet. I mean, funny thing is, it really is time for us to go get some sponsors. This is a beta test. We've been doing what we do, and we love what we do, but I think it would be really nice to have an operating budget and a team. But, hey, like I said on the last show, and I'll say it again on this one, if you go to youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia, let those ads play at the beginning. And if you're feeling like it, even click on one, see where it takes you. I think we get a couple pennies when you do that. We like pennies. Because over hundreds of thousands of views, that's a couple of pennies. And it helps offset all of the costs that we've had to pay. And it's weird. You got to register the domain. You got to keep it current. You got to... it just goes on and on. I won't bore you with the details. But hey, it is where we're headed. You know, we also do another show called Agree to Disagree. It's a place where we talk about pretty much everything under the sun except sports. Most of the time there's no sports on there. But yeah, we talk about religion, we talk about politics, we talk about finance, we talk about conspiracies, we talk about the origin of human life. Who are we? How did we get here? What's the purpose now that we are here? And we've had a lot of really cool interviews and shows over the past 4 years. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. Oh, let me look that up. Let me see what that means. Let's see. 4-year... Oh, anniversary gift. It came right up. It's like it knows. Okay. Well, this is... I want to see where it goes year by year. Oh, yeah. First, second... Okay. I know this makes compelling television when you... I'm sorry. Makes compelling internet when you listen to me look up things online. Okay. First year wedding anniversary is traditionally paper. Second is cotton. Third is leather. Ooh. Fourth is flowers. Okay. What's it say? Traditional anniversary gift is flowers. Modern anniversary gift is linen or silk. Ooh. And then travel anniversary gift ideas. Lingerie. And a Hawaiian vacation. All right now. Silk and flowers and lingerie and a Hawaiian vacation. But we did just have our 4-year anniversary, and it's pretty cool. We appreciate all of you that are out there that have supported us over the years, and really, as we continue, things are going to get a lot... Things are going to... Here's the deal. We have really grand aspirations for this network, the TNAM radio network, because the news always matters. I know, that's just silly. Because the news always matters. I actually pranked somebody today, and they said I sound like a robot. TheNewAmericanMedia.com. I'm not even using the same voice. Anyway, point is, what is the point? I'm just babbling because Zach's phone went dead so quick. But really, what else is there to say? The Warriors lost a game, so did the Cavs. Cavs came back strong. Let's see how this all plays out. I'm very encouraged after tonight's game. I want to see Iman Shumpert come back healthy. J.R. Smith, man, I think we're realizing just how much we appreciate J.R. Smith and Kevin Love right about now. It sure would be let's just say it sure would be nice to have J.R. Smith, Kevin Love, and Anderson Varejao on the team. That sure would. I mean, we do have them on the team, but they're not really able to play. Man, 3 people from your rotation, like key players. That's rough, man. This team's going to be filthy next year, but thankfully I'm worried about this year. So anyway, back to my point. The point is that we have been doing this for a while, and we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. We understand that we've tapped into something here, and we are going to be getting a team. We are going to get some structure here. Frankly, I want our network to do more, and I don't want to do all of it. So I guess if you're out there and you're a listener, you can connect with us. Twitter, we're at American_media_. On Facebook, do a search for The New American Media. Those are also linked on our homepage, thenewamericanmedia.com. And subscribe, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Leave us a message. Let us know. Do you want to join our team? What's your asset? What do you bring to the table? What's your expertise, your area of expertise? But really, we just want to start bringing some people in and just start adding content. We have another radio network that we haven't really used yet, but it's just sitting there waiting. It's on Blog Talk Radio if people want to do their own radio shows. We really anticipate the New American Media to be anybody with a cell phone camera, because people just don't believe the lies that we're fed anymore. They don't believe the the official narrative, the official story. You know, you can always tell when MSNBC and Fox want to push something because they're both on board. And guess what? So are the Democrats and Republicans. And it's like, this is ridiculous. There's more going on in the world right now, but these guys all suddenly got together and said, this is all we want to talk about. Let's really push this and divide the people. You know, and it's that division that really annoys me. Of course, as a Buckeye fan, I'm not going to like Michigan fan, you know? As a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm not going to like Pittsburgh Steelers fan or Baltimore Raven fan. You know, Cleveland Indians, Detroit Tigers. I mean, it's just not going to be that way. But at the end of it, you know, on our Unhappy Hour, we have a sports group on Facebook. You guys should link up with us and send us a message. Say, hey, put me in that group, and then maybe we could put you in that group. And that's starting to grow. That's going to be real fun as we move forward. That's what we're saying. Like, follow us on all of our mediums. Don't just check out the radio show. We send different stuff out on Twitter, different stuff out on Facebook, but it's just a sport, and it's not just a sport to me, obviously, because I've put some time and energy into this, and I really want to see a title. Man, I've been alive my whole life. I've never had my hometown team bring one back. I mean, the Buckeyes did too, you know. Yes, and I claim them, I rep them, and they probably are the biggest, baddest Division I school closest to where I grew up. But it's not Cleveland. I mean, it is 2.5 hours away. Sure be nice to see the Indians, you know, a professional sports championship. The Indians, Cavs, or Browns. That'd be fantastic. You know, and it is important to me, but, you know, when it comes to liberty and freedom and self-defense and preparedness and accountable governance. I almost said government, but it's governance. Accountable governance. You know, Steeler fan, Raven fan, Wolverine fan, Tiger fan. Like, you guys are on my team. You know, that's the important one right there. You know, I just think most people want to be left alone. I think we want... It's just this concept that government thinks it's like thinks that it's in charge of us. You know, we're only asking these people to do these jobs with us in mind. They work for us. You know, you watch what's going on in Baltimore, and you just can't help but think about a lot of things that are bad. There are legitimate concerns about police getting militarized. There are legitimate concerns about people getting stopped without reason. There are legitimate concerns about having your persons and effects snooped on without your permission or without a warrant. I mean, hell, Edward Snowden told us that. All your emails, all your text messages, your Facebook posts, the pages you visit online, what you order from Amazon, what you buy at the grocery store, it's all being tracked. Your phone tracks you as you go from place to place. It can even access the telephone, or the telephone functions, the microphone and the the camera, if you don't have a piece of hand-cut electrical tape covering up the front one, which I recommend. You can always pop it off for a selfie and put it back on if you need to. But, you know, these are the important issues that are going on. I really hope that the reason I'm doing more shows, because we usually do one show a week here at the Unhappy Hour, the reason I hope that this becomes a little bit something special. You know, I'm doing more shows because I hope this is the year that I'll always look back on and remember that year that the Cavaliers won the championship when LeBron James came back home. You know, and we'll have as many pieces of information out there, as many radio shows as possible to document this process. You know, that's why we did one on a non-traditional day today. But, you know, people are concerned about this Jade Helm exercise. Is it a precursor for martial law, or, you know, is it just to get the people to accept the fact that you should be seeing military personnel on your streets? You know, there's something called posse comitatus, where you're not supposed to be blending the military with the police. The police are supposed to be there to protect and serve, and the military is supposed to fight foreign invaders. But when you bring the enemy inside our borders looking for enemies, the people become the enemies. There's a reason this isn't supposed to be happening, but at the Boston Marathon, we watched it happen. We watched it happen. People were getting pulled out of their homes. They had assault rifles aimed at their faces. Going door to door searching. Well, it's an emergency. No, when it's an emergency, that's when you cling to the Constitution, not when you throw it out the window or rewrite it. So this Jade Helm military exercise, July 15th to September 15th. It's weird because it has states like Texas and Arizona, New Mexico, California, whatnot, and there are different pockets, 2 areas, one in Texas, one in California, that label them as like enemy combatants or insurgents or enemy. I forget exactly how they phrase it. I should probably pull that up, but it doesn't seem right that they're training on our land, calling ourselves the enemy. I don't think that's good. And despite the fact that there is police militarization and there is police abuse, I certainly think that from Trayvon Martin to Mike Brown to this Baltimore thing, I think that Barack Obama, Eric Holder, Valerie Jarrett, Al Sharpton, go down the list, there's a lot of people that are fanning the flames of racism, trying to get like a bit of a race war going on, really trying to stir things up and encourage this. And this is at a time where, some people who draw a cartoon are getting shot at. Look what happened overseas when they didn't have people that could shoot back. They were slaughtered. If you want to talk about the Second Amendment, hey now, look no further than Texas. A couple of bad guys come around trying to kill you, shoot them and kill them. That's our God-given right. That's not granted by politicians, and politicians have no right to slap restrictions on that Second Amendment. There are real issues that we need to be paying attention to. About the solar flare that just happened and knocked out a whole bunch of radio? About the intentional attacks on our power grid? I'm sure you have a few months of your medicine on supply in case something catastrophic happened, right? Because you've been noticing there's a whole bunch of earthquakes. A whole bunch of earthquakes, volcanoes are popping off. Saw a couple of tornadoes today. You're seeing this, right? The huge drought in California. Now, I get it. Things happen all the time. One doesn't necessarily mean... it doesn't mean anything, necessarily. But it is a reminder. Are you prepared? Are you prepared for the upcoming hurricane season? Are you prepared for civil unrest? Are you prepared for an attack from North Korea, from Russia, from ISIS? Then let's get into what ISIS is. Did the U.S. help create ISIS? How can you look at it and say no? So what in the heck is really going on here? Exercises on our own land. We're kind of funding ISIS to go after bad guys, but they're the bad guys. And we leave our southern border wide open for people to flood in and kind of take their places and get ready for something. I'm sorry. If you don't feel it, that's cool, man. It's not cool. No, I don't wish I were you. Part of me wants to say that's cool. I wish I'd had my head in the sand and I didn't know, but no. The only thing worse than knowing and trying to do something about it is not knowing and not being able to do anything about it. I just think we're headed for some difficult times, trying times, challenging moments, certain events that would certainly have the possibility of changing who we are as a nation. So we got to figure out who we are in advance. That's why we do shows on preparedness. Just making sure you have a bunch of extra, go out and get yourself 5 or 10 cases of water. Put them away. Put them in the closet. Put them in the basement. Keep them in your car. Well, keep them covered up because direct sunlight's not good. Or, whatever. Extra medication. A couple of dollars on hand. Some sort of backup communications tool. You got a solar-powered radio. Do you have anything? Just anything. Just imagine the power goes off and doesn't come back on for 6 months. What's your plan? Everything. You, your family, your loved ones. What's your plan? Where do you go? What do you do? How do you protect yourselves? I certainly... I guess maybe it's just the Boy Scout in me, the be prepared. But prepare for the worst and hope for the best is the thing that I've guided myself by for a long time. And you just watch these riots going on, and you watch the military patrolling the streets, and we got to get information. Number one. I mean, geez, it's like if there's a black shooting, everything. If a black person is shot, especially if they're killed by a white cop, you have MSNBC and Barack Obama and Al Sharpton and all of these people jumping in to stir things up and make people angry. Now, the problem with that is that we don't have the facts. The Mike Brown case, he never had his hands up. He was not running away. There were multiple autopsies shown he was not shot in the back. But that's all you heard. That was the story. You know, that's why you got to be careful when dealing with these. It's not no justice, no peace. It's like, hey, let's get an investigation. I want to see the details. You know, Eric Garner, South Carolina, what was the guy's name? Now, Eric Garner, that situation, certainly with the chokehold, that certainly looked like the officer, you know, he was using a move that they're not supposed to be using. You know, it's kind of that simple. Using a move that he's not supposed to be using. You know, that was obvious to me. Walter Scott shot in the back and killed. I mean, he was running away. I don't think the officer felt like he had a gun or a weapon. That's kind of the only chance you can shoot somebody in the back is if you think they have a weapon and they're going to harm somebody in another area. If they're going into a mall, they're going into a theater, they're going into a playground. You could shoot someone running away from you in that case to protect the community. But that didn't really seem to be the case now. You know, but every case is different. Every case is different. Kelly Thomas, the cop puts on gloves and says, you see these fists, they're getting ready to F you up, and they beat him to death on camera. He puts on latex gloves. He just doesn't want to get blood on his hands. Sociopathic beyond belief. It was like something out of American Psycho. Like a Christian Bale scene. Like, I'm just going to do some really horrible stuff right about now. Uh-huh. Well, these cops went to trial and they were let go. Go figure. You know, I think body cameras need to be on all the police. What do I know? What do I know? But that's what I think needs to happen to protect the police, who, in the case of Darren Wilson, I mean, geez, that Mike Brown, he went into a convenience store and robbed him and threw the clerk into a bag of Frito-Lays, one of those displays, just kind of launched him with one hand. And then he was walking down the middle of the street looking for trouble. Cop comes by, says, get out of the street. He comes up on him, reaches inside, they start fighting. He goes for the gun. Of course, now he went for the gun is always the cop speak go-to. That the lawyers tell him, well, if you include that in your police report, you know, that's justifiable. So, you know, those things are always questionable. But, you know, the guy was away. Somehow they broke free. He ran away. A shot was fired inside of the car. Cop ain't just going to shoot inside of a car for no reason. You know, then he's away, and then he charges back. One of the eyewitnesses says he had his head down charging at him like he was a football player. The cop shot to defend himself. It's a really big boy, that Mike Brown. You know, but Ferguson burned. Over what? We looked at the case. It was not what people were telling us it was. So I guess my lesson in this is, you know, judge every case on a case-by-case basis. Don't believe what anybody's telling you to believe. The cop lovers, the cop haters. You know, where do I stand on it? You know, I think there's a very limited role for the police to play. I think that the bad guys... you know, I think that there is a bad element out there, absolutely, and I'm appreciative of their work. However, I've had some bad encounters as well, and I've been treated really poorly, and I know what it's like, and I've been covering these stories, these shootings, and these beatings and police abuse cases for 4 years, and it starts to weigh on you. It's like, wow, you know, Walter Scott shot in the back and killed. Do you think this would have been over and done with if there wasn't video? Hell no. You know, so I recognize it, but like, we got to be careful to make sure we remember something. There is an encroaching global governance police state thing, New World Order, however you want to define it. Corporatism. Something is happening where the politicians are being bought off by the biggest, baddest, most powerful countries. People are trying to privatize everything from energy to water to, you know, and then the government's looking to take over healthcare and housing and schooling and pretty much everything. Everything is being taken over, and it's like, I just kind of want to be left alone. You know, I don't want to be engaged in foreign conflicts for 15 years nonstop with no clear exit strategy. You know, but that's where we find ourselves. Shooting in Texas over a cartoon. Come on. You know, this is really bad stuff. This is something you can't just sit back and pretend it's okay or it's not my problem. This is a problem. We must clearly and accurately define what is okay and what is not okay. You know, people getting killed over what? You know, if it's not in self-defense, it shouldn't have happened. So, you know, those are the other topics that we talk about here at thenewamericanmedia.com, and we definitely share a lot of those stories on our Facebook, Twitter, definitely on our YouTube. We want you to check those out. So, do that, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia, @American_media_ the New American Media with spaces in between. Do that search on Facebook and like the page, and thenewamericanmedia.com. So, you know, that's kind of all I got right now. Right now. Let's see. Houston up 109 to Clippers 103 with 2:11 left in the fourth. Sorry, I gotta... I go live when I go live, and I stop the show when I stop the show.
The Unhappy Hour on thenewamericanmedia.com.
And this is John B. Wells reminding you that not only is Brian Engelman a cool guy, and not only is thenewamericanmedia.com a very cool platform, but here's a cool idea for you, too. Are you alone? Not really. Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? You do. Of course you do. Everybody does. One or the other, maybe even both. You know, there are a lot of dogs and cats that are at shelters right now, and if somebody doesn't take them home, they're going to wind up euthanized. That's a nice way of saying they're going to be killed, because there's simply not enough room. I guarantee it, the best dogs and the best cats, the best pets, come from shelters. There's something about dogs and cats. They know. They know where they are. You walk through one of them, and certainly at least one is going to look at you and go, I wish you'd take me home. I'm in hell. Please take me out of here. It'll be the best thing that you ever did for your soul. You'll feel good about it. And not only that, but you have a friend for life. Doesn't matter if you got money, you don't have money. Well, it doesn't make any difference to a dog or cat. All they need is the sound of your voice and maybe even the stroke of your hand, and they're fine. Maybe a little food every once in a while. The sweetest sound that those pets ever hear is your voice. Think it over and adopt a cat or a dog from a local shelter today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did.